Put on your seatbelts. We got the keys to the spaceship. It's time to go for a ride. Stay tuned, stay big.
It's this new thing for people, and they're sometimes afraid of new things that they don't understand.
I'm assuming you enjoy rapping with people like this.
I love this. This is exactly why I live life.
Welcome to the Bakercast.
Sometimes I feel like I'm channeling energy, and what I produce are the keys to the spaceship.
Aloha, guys. Good to see you out here on the floor, on the streets, doing the grind, getting to witness the function of the whole industry here.
I want to tell you, I believe the aliens came down many years ago and infected some monkeys and made us all. We all came from different places, and because of that, different things might get us high.
Jason Harris here is the seventh apprentice of Bob Snodgrass, and Bob Snodgrass says,
Sometimes I feel like I'm channeling energy, and what I produce are the keys to the spaceship.
Yeah, the pipe that you make is a key to the spaceship for somebody to get into. So think about it like this, bro. It's a tool to get high. So when you smoke through this thing, you get inspired. It changes your head work. And so I helped develop that piece that you got high with, so I have a connection to you somehow. So that's that. I love it. I love it.
AquadelicSwimwear.com. That's right, Aquadelics puts the art in party. Made with Aloha and Paradise, our colorful swimsuits are true works of art. Specializing in handmade bikinis and board shorts, these products have been made to be worn wet or dry, depending on your unique modern needs. The fast-drying, durable microfiber and polyester fabric use allows for any overall water, sweat-resistant, party, or active options. We strive to make everything in the USA, support our local community of economy. Each piece of swimwear is an artist's creation of personal expression from Gemini Incorporated. Printed, tie-dye, defined, vibrant, bold colors that bring out a glow of beauty and wellness to your beach or outdoor experience. Inspired by the array of colors of the Hawaiian island of Maui. The bright reef life down under to the surreal living rainbows are complemented on the surrounding land from above. We welcome you to our unique swimwear enchanted of enhancing your water-resistant experience today. Visit Aquadelics.com. I'm Adam Stellar, and you are listening to the Bakercast on JeromeBaker.com.
yes, we are back for another episode, of course.
Hear our past content at JeromeBaker.Shop. Try the new Jerome Baker cannabis today.
Good morning. First bong here today, of course, Sour Diesel.
A little bit back onto the cannabis because we also are a podcast, right? Because Jerome Baker just dropped the JBD cannabis line, and we want to know what's your top 5 vinyl records to smoke good cannabis to, and what strain would that be as well?
They would definitely be number one, the Beatles, the White Album, and then number. And that was the first album I ever purchased when I was a kid. It was the Beatles' White Album. I had sniffy parents, obviously. And then I would definitely say Frank Zappa, Chic Your Booty.
Oh,
yeah. Number 2.
Absolutely. Great album.
And then I would say Grateful Dead, Anthem of the Sun. And pretty much any Grateful Dead, but Anthem of the Sun is a great one to smoke, too. You hear all the little nuances. And then it would be Pink Floyd, Adam Hart, Mother.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then the Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Hugh, I don't think you could have explained five better vinyl records, and I think we have all those in the cauldron. Here at the Dream Factory. You know, I think playing vinyl music, while you're blowing glass, you evoke some real spiritual, some real old, beautiful energy that you don't get when you listen to an MP3. You know, when you hear that crackle, you know, it's just so much different. So, wow,
exactly.
Great answer here.
I like a lot of different strains. Luckily, I live here in Oregon, where I have a plethora of different strains to choose from. I really like a lot of landrace sativas, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
They tend to get me motivated and not make me too couch locked, and it's a great thing for blowing glass.
Yeah.
And then I usually prefer to stick to more of the heavy indicas in the evening time. But honestly, what I'm smoking at the time is what my favorite weed is at the time, my favorite cannabis. And I have been a cannabis user since the age of 11, and so my blowing glass has kind of fit into I definitely found the cannabis first and found the glass second, but the glass has gotten me to be able to live the lifestyle where I could still live or smoke as much cannabis as I feel I need to when I want to, and not let anybody telling me not to.
Yeah, and you know what I realized after doing a couple different interviews is that a lot of folks that met Jason Harris and Jordan Schefter were on the Dead tour, right? You know, what's your 5 favorite Dead songs?
But my very favorite Grateful Dead song would be Ripple by far. And a lot of other ones as far as that goes. I mean, if you really want me to list 5 very quick, let's go. Mountains of the Moon, St. Stephen, and The Race is On. Favorite, and that's 4. So a 5th one would ultimately be Unbroken Chain.
Oh, wonderful. So, when do you think cannabis will be federally legalized? When do you think they'll back off and let us do our thing? Federally legalized cannabis.
I hope it becomes federally legal as soon as possible. It has been way too long already, and so I think that I have been ready for it for a long time, and I think the rest of the country is very ready for it. And so hopefully, as soon as the politicians pull their head out their own asses, we'll be able to have federally legal cannabis, which will be awesome.
Absolutely. Hugh, any big projects, any plans in the future you want to dial in for our listeners?
Just keep the pace that I've been going right now. I travel about 6 months on the road. I work with Hugh Fowler as a TA. I work with the Sporting Museum of Glass. I also work for the Chance organization running the Glass Games contest, and I get to give away cash prizes with that one. So that one's a really fun one.
Y'all are killing it there.
Yeah, last 7 years I've been able to hand somebody else's money, quite a bit of it, to a bunch of glass blowers. It's really changed a lot of glass blowers' lives. So that's something that's been very important to me. So I want to keep that going on. I don't necessarily have a big project in mind. It's more keeping on what I'm doing now because I'm having a lot of fun, and I really can't imagine it, getting any. I don't know. I'm at a really good place, and I just want to keep on keeping on. I'm having a really good time, and every year has been more and more enjoyable. And it's fun to keep producing really nice glass, and I want people to appreciate it. And the more that people smoke cannabis, the more they appreciate my products. And I do make other products besides just the dry pieces, the hammer and the sidebowl and the chillum. But that's also what I do with teaching, is I'll teach marbles and other things like that, and jars and anything made out of glass is pretty much what I teach. Again, I was talking about earlier, also lifestyle a little bit. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's my goals for the future. Is just to keep bringing more people on to what we have going on.
Absolutely. Well, just being at the Dream Factory around Jerome Baker, seeing all these folks back there blowing glass. We had, Chuck and CC Glassworks and Alicia, and a bunch of really awesome artists here that are really killing it here. And it just makes me think of a real great place in history that we're at here. It just really inspires me to actually potentially go to one of these schools to try to learn how to blow some glass myself, just because I'm around it so much. And I've been interviewing so many people for this Bakercast. It's real inspiring. Any last shout outs? Where can the universe find you online?
You can find me online at Hugh.Glass, which would be Instagram and also Facebook. And you can email me at that at Gmail, Hugh.Glass@gmail. My wife is the one who takes care of my emails for me, so I might not get back to you immediately, but keep trying. You'll definitely get in touch with me.
Absolutely.
And I do want to share a little story that is kind of topical right now, and it has to do with Jason Harris in particular.
Sure.
And that would be about Dan Keeling. Dan Keeling was a gentleman I met when I was 21 years old. We were the same age, so he was 21, I was 21. It was the Oregon Country Fair midnight show, which back in those days they actually started it at midnight and went until the wee hours. And there was this kid standing there. I say kid, even though we're the same age, but back then we were kids. There's a gentleman standing there, kid, with this giant cubensis mushroom. And it's picked fresh that day, literally fresh fresh, like screaming fresh, like out of the like store. And I stood there for about 10 minutes, just looking at this kid and looking at that giant mushroom. And I eventually went up to him and said, "Dude, where did you get that thing? Or what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "My name's Dan Keeling, and I'm a glassblower, and I'm waiting for another glassblower who hangs out at the fair here named Hugh." And so I brought this for him, and I said, "Oh, wow, that's me, and thank you very much."
Wow.
And he was actually he grew up around this area. He grew up in Corvallis, Oregon, and he'd been going to the fair his whole life. Sure. And he, after meeting him, he went back to Salem Community College that fall and ended up meeting Jason and another person who used to be involved in the glass community. And so that's inadvertently, that's how Jason got started in the community, was by me meeting Dan, and Dan trading his scientific knowledge in glass for my knowledge on the cannabis pipe side of it. And so I taught him pipes, he taught me scientific, and then he ran back and taught Jason Harris and Chris Shave.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's why I say as one of the beginning, I know a little bit about the beginning history, and that's kind of an interesting one when you start doing the family tree and where people come from and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. In fact, we wanted to pay some respect and ultimate love to Dan K. For all our listeners here, thank you so much, Hugh, and hopefully we can keep catching up with you throughout our existence of BakerCast and keep getting round 2, round 3, just because there's so many stories we can't get them all in one interview. But we want to thank you for joining us today on the BakerCast. Hugh, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Definitely, anytime.
Any last shout-outs by chance?
My shop, Mike Philpott, he makes really beautiful rigs. He puts a lot of time and energy into those things. You should definitely check him out. And he makes some pretty funny videos, too.
Absolutely.
Besides that, it would take too many hours to shout out everybody that I know. I definitely, encourage people to look and try as many things as possible. And it's all about, the way things work and the way things look and how you feel about it. And if you're having a good time, then you're doing it right.
Absolutely. Hugh, thank you so much for catching up with us on
The BakerCast, the official Jerome Baker podcast. Make sure to check out the new Jerome Baker Cannabis today.
What a blessing it is. I saw you go up and down. Now you're doing what you love. And so you guys are the front line of this weed thing.
Warning, please keep out of reach of children and for use by adults 21 years of age and older.
This is the BakerCast. I am Adam Stellar. Make sure to check us out, JeromeBaker.Shop. This is the BakerCast. I'm Adam Stellar. Stay tuned. Stay baked. Hear our past podcast content at JeromeBaker.Shop. Did you try the new Jerome Baker cannabis yet? Meridia Capital Holdings is a private equity firm targeting fundamental growth drivers underpinning the rapid development of the cannabis industry. Our investment emphasis focuses on the cultivation technologies, products, and services associated with the evolution of cannabis as an agriculture product, a natural plant-based medicine, and constitute in pharmaceutical formulations and recreational consumer product. See, we seek to invest in companies that successfully transition from startup to revenue-generating growth companies. We work to further accelerate proven operating models and supercharge the growth of their commercial pipeline. By identifying essential providers with strong management teams, we anticipate where enterprise-level or large industrial providers in non-related fields will look to find growth in their core businesses through acquisition or investment. Meridia Capital Holdings. Make sure to check them out. MeridiaCapitalHoldings.net. This is the BakerCast. I'm Adam Stellar. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Stay baked.
We're back. That's right. This is the BakerCast, the official Jerome Baker podcast on JeromeBaker.com. That's right. We're excited to have you along for another episode of Turby Tuesday.
This is the BakerCast, the official Jerome Baker podcast. JeromeBaker.Shop. I'm Adam Stellar. Stay tuned, stay baked. Hear our past content at JeromeBaker.Shop. Make sure to check out the new Jerome Baker Cannabis today. LBS Distribution, re-upping California. LBS Distribution was founded in 2017 by a group of cannabis entrepreneurs with the goal of creating an efficient supply chain of legal cannabis throughout California. Located in West Sacramento, in the heart of Northern California. The mission is to connect California's licensed cannabis retailers with the finest cultivators, artisans, and manufacturers that have made the state renowned for high-quality cannabis. From the redwoods forests of Humboldt to the beaches of San Diego, and everything in between. LBS Distribution is your one-stop shop bringing you high-quality cannabis products and reliable service for your dispensary needs. This is the Bakercast, the official Jerome Baker podcast, JeromeBaker.Shop.
Ending the show with a classic interview in so many ways. This is the very first ever interview we got with Jason Harris, Jerome Baker, before Bakercast, actually. This was when we were doing a show called Experiments the Lifestyle on Underground Experiments, hosted by the Mad Scientist in Denver, Colorado. And this was a phone interview. And I think this may have sparked, the thought of realistically the vision of Bakercast, before that Space Egypt trip. You want some real in-depth history? You want to really dig in on the Bakercast? Stay tuned, stay baked.
Las Vegas Dream Factory, 721 South 1st Street, in the heart of the Arts District, Las Vegas, Nevada. Make sure to check us out, LasVegasDreamFactory.com. I'm Adam Stellar. Stay tuned, stay baked. This is the Bakercast. Want to hear more of our podcast? Go to JeromeBaker.Shop. And make sure to check out the new Jerome Baker Cannabis today.
I'm not even going to spoil any of these episodes coming up. I'm looking at them right now, but, I'm just
grateful to catch up with Jason Harris, the OG of the modern functional glass art movement, also known as Jerome Baker Glass. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, bro. Just hanging out here in Maui, Hawaii.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we're set up here at the Yellow Submarine. Could you tell some of our listeners how you got into glass art and how you got involved with the father of glass, Bob Snodgrass?
Yeah, I was an art major in college and, really interested in process-oriented arts.
Sure.
At the same time, I was on Grateful Dead tour, and there was some like Kind Bud was happening then. It was like the early 90s. You just started smoking Northern Lights and some of the some of the strains that got introduced into America that was going in Holland, and we needed something good to smoke out of. People were buying crack pipes, and you pack a crack pipe with some kind of weed, it tasted really good, and that was like the best flavor you can get. So, I was out on Grateful Dead tour. There was, a dude out there selling glass pipes, and we had gotten one. And when we smoked out of it, it made all the sense in the world. And then the magic of it was it appeared to change color the more you used it.
Right, absolutely.
So it was really cool. And we heard about this dude, Bob Snodgrass, in Eugene, Oregon. And so right about that time, I was to Oregon to go to college at the University of Oregon and looked up Bob Snodgrass in the white pages, GRASS, and called him up and said, hey, can I come over to the house? And
wow.
Went over and got treated like family from day one. It was like the old man in his overalls and chewing on the hay grass. And, he was in the kitchen cooking rabbit stew. She killed her own rabbits and cooked stew.
That's awesome.
And it was really cool, man. It was Oregon style. It was a real good introduction into Oregon and meeting this, wizard in the flesh. And it was before the big, explosion of pipe makers. So, it was me. I was hanging out in the living room watching TV with Hugh from Hugh Glass. And wow, there was only a couple of other people in the room at that point, and I decided then that I wanted to learn glass blowing. So I went up to Alaska and worked for a summer and got enough money to buy myself a torch and came back down and got to be, part of the whole Snodgrass, evolution. And it was kind of like being in Paris at the time, with Manet, Monet, Picasso, Matisse. You're around a lot of similar like-minded people, doing an artwork that we knew was real special. You know, it was nice the sharing of ideas and the building out of the whole program. I mean, when we were kids, we only knew about a national hand torch. There was no internet around to tell you what's going on.
Absolutely.
And when we finally figured out there was a big torch to use, it was a day later that Bob and Cameron and Dan Kay invented the bubbler. That was the first time we saw the water go through the thing, you know?
Right, I heard about that.
You know, there's been a lot of little evolutions in the whole thing from, you know, when the thing exploded out of Eugene and went to Seattle, and they had, you know, the Gasworks Park crew start up. That was like Marcel and Jay Lee and, you know, Banjo and Cowboy and a lot of the big boys from up there doing a lot more of the color work.
Right, yeah.
Things just started to kind of spiral out, and there was a whole scene, you know, going on. And, you know, I was number 7 in the lineage of the Bob Snodgrass apprentices, as listed on his website. You know what I mean? And I feel blessed and honored to be a part of that and be part of the whole, you know, what we call the Piper movement now, and degenerate art. And
yeah, which is a wonderful documentary.
Yeah, you know, the guy Slinger, real good artist, and taking his skills and putting it into a movie was a real fun adventure for him and everybody that was part of it, and even everybody that got to watch it. I threw a trade show a few years back in New Jersey at the Trump Taj Mahal, and it was the world premiere of that movie. And we had everybody in the house, from Scott Depp to, you know, we had Slinger, we had, you know, the whole crew was there. It was like watching Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know, with everybody screaming and yelling during the whole movie. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I like that you added funk to the functional. So, you know, it's always important to keep that funk and positive energy around. Tell us about your team, you know, and how many years have you been doing Jerome Baker Glass? How did that evolve?
The evolution of the company came out of, you know, Grateful Dead tour. Jerry's, Jerome, and Baker's Getting Baked. And, you know, I started doing the company in 1991. By 95, when Jerry died, we were in Eugene. I had a whole crew of guys working behind the torches. And by 99, I was doing $4 million a year. I had 70 people working full-time. Wow. Paying taxes, the whole nine. 2003, February 23rd to be exact, I got arrested. My doors were banged in and everything was taken away from me. In a thing called Operation Pet Dreams. 55 of us got arrested that day around the country for manufacturing drug paraphernalia. Wow. You know, these are, you know, just little obstacles in life that happen, man. And to overcome that, I moved to Maui and I started making art glass for tourists back in 2006.
Right.
And I've been over here ever since. I work with a couple different factories over here. One's called Makai Glass. They're an incredible studio here.
Sure.
And I do a lot of work at home. I'm doing a lot of painting lately.
Absolutely.
I have a nice studio in Vegas, making the water pipes and the oil rigs and all the fun stuff.
And the bong.
And in Vegas, I have a crew of some of the old guys that are in there working, and it's called the Las Vegas Dream Factory. It's in the Arts District of Las Vegas. We just recently made the world's largest bong, which is you can go see it at the Cannabistion Museum. That's on Fremont Street. So you can go down there for the whole Fremont experience and join the Cannabistion and see the world's largest bong, along with a lot of other really cool vignettes that are all cannabis-centered and you know, just a really cool zone. The guy out there, J.J. Walker, did a great job with the museum. We're really proud to show with him.
Absolutely.
And he'd be a great interview for you, too, down the line.
Cool, absolutely. For our listeners who did check this out previously on our website, undergroundexperiments.co, we do have a link to the Bongzilla. You know, we definitely support Jerome Baker Glass to the fullest.
Appreciate that. You know, you guys can also go onto my website, JeromeBaker.com. There's a couple links to videos on there of, you know, what we're doing and live action on YouTube. I've pretty much tried to keep everything on YouTube, at least so I have a house for it and people can go watch for free what our projects have been in the past, from working with, you know, Native Hawaiians and doing sculpture of hula dancers, you know, while the hula storytelling is going on, all the way to, you know, making the world's largest bong, or blowing glass with the Grateful Dead in the studio playing while we make them a piece. It's all on there. It's really fun to watch. I've had you know, my thing is the glass, manufacturing the glass
is the magic that happens with me and the team, and that's what was really attractive to me. Looking at that final piece of glass, the viewer's attracted to the shape, the color, or the aesthetic of it. So I like to film a lot of these, ritualistic experiences in the creation and the manufacturing of the glass.
Sure.
And give them to the public in a way that they can digest it. So I chop them up 3-5 minutes. I've done a few 12-minute videos. The videos kind of tell a story and give a little insight into the mind's eye of what we're doing and how it all works together, and the magic of the dance of glass, I call it. This is a lot of people working together to make a creation, and it's just like wild. You know what I mean? It's like everything's over 1,000 degrees, and people are laughing, crying. I mean, there's every emotion that you can imagine through the gamut here.
That's so beautiful.
Hear our past podcast content at JeromeBaker.Shop. Did you try the new Jerome Baker cannabis yet? EarlHillExtracts.com. Small batch, artisan crafted, live resin from Humboldt County, California. That's right, EarlHillExtracts.com. Now offering white label sauce, shatter, and or fresh frozen for brands, retailers, and wholesalers. You are listening to The Bakercast on Cannabis Talk 101. Stay tuned, stay baked. JeromeBaker.Shop. LBS Distribution. Founded in 2017 by a group of cannabis entrepreneurs with a goal of creating an efficient supply chain of legal cannabis throughout California. Located in West Sacramento, in the heart of Northern California. Their mission? To connect California's licensed cannabis retailers with the finest cultivators, artisans, and manufacturers that have made the state renowned for high-quality cannabis. From the redwoods forest of Humboldt to the beaches of San Diego, and everything in between, LBS Distribution is your one-stop shop, bringing you high-quality cannabis products and reliable service for your dispensary needs. This is the Bakercast, the official Jerome Baker podcast on JeromeBaker.Shop. Thank you for listening. I'm Adam Baker. Stay tuned. Stay baked.
Really love digging in with the actual pioneers, movers, and shakers in the culture. An interview from Hugh Glass. Why? Because he gave us his top 5 favorite Grateful Dead songs. And him and Jason Harris met over in Eugene, Oregon. Something similar that they have in common, glass blowing and the Grateful Dead. So, we dug in a little bit more on that. Heard about him being the first apprentice to Bob Snodgrass. Jason Harris is the 7th apprentice. And a phone interview from Jason Harris before Bakercast, when we did a show called Experiments the Lifestyle on Underground Experiments, hosted by us, the Mad Scientist. What a long, strange trip, my friends.
Stay tuned. Stay baked. Make sure to hear our past content on JeromeBaker.Shop and try the new Jerome Baker cannabis today. EarlHillExtracts.com. Small batch, artisan crafted, live resin from Humboldt County, California. That's right, EarlHillExtracts.com. Now offering white label sauce, shatter, and or fresh frozen for brands, retailers, and wholesalers. You are listening to The Bakercast. Stay tuned, stay baked. JeromeBaker.Shop.
What a blessing it is, I saw you go up and down, now you're doing what you love, and so you guys are the front line of this weed thing.
Warning, please keep out of reach of children, and for use by adults 21 years of age and older.
This is the Bakercast.